Susan stepped to the window, her gaze sweeping across the Martian surface toward the sprawling shipyards where humanity's fleet was forged. The Zephyrians have been waging war on us for 2 centuries without our knowledge, she said. They've killed thousands, stolen our technology, and now plan genocide against our colonies. Turning back to Daniel and Elizabeth, her eyes burned with resolve. We will mobilize every ship we have and show them what happens when you target innocent humans. They wanted to study human warfare. Now they'll see it up close. Elizabeth packed her equipment. Admiral, they've prepared for this for centuries. They know our weapons, tactics, and technology. Can we truly defeat them? Susan's smile was cold. Dr. Foster, there's one thing they've never studied, what humans do when family is harmed. They took our people, tortured them, and now threaten millions more. They're about to learn the difference between observing human warfare and facing enraged humans. Daniel and Elizabeth departed to ready their reports. Susan stayed at the window, watching ships in orbit. Soon they would sail to war, and the galaxy would see what humanity could do when pushed too far. She opened her personal comms. Patricia, we need to talk now. Bring readiness reports and mobilization plans. We have a war to plan. The encrypted message sped away. Within minutes, alarms would echo through the Terran fleet as humanity began its greatest military buildup. The Zephyrians had made a fatal error in choosing humanity as their enemy. On Earth, the Terran Council chamber was thick with tension as President William Hayes convened an emergency session. Delegates from every colony and military sector joined in person or via secure link. The Zephyrian threat has reached our highest levels, he said. Admiral Clark will brief us. Susan took the podium, activating a massive display showing captured human vessels and alien experimentation devices. Gasps rippled through the chamber. The Zerian Collective has waged a hidden war against us for over 200 years, she began. They've seized our ships, murdered our people, and stolen our technology. Now they prepare to strike our outer colonies. Counselor Robert Kim of New Angeles raised a hand. How certain is this timeline? Captain Turner's recon confirms it, Susan replied. 17 stolen human warships have been turned into weapons. Alongside them, a fleet of 300 alien ships is preparing coordinated strikes on New Texas and Haven Prime. The chamber erupted with shouting. President Hayes called for order, needing minutes to restore calm. What are our options? Asked Counselor Lisa Rodriguez from Mars. Susan switched the display to fleet positions. I recommend immediate approval of Operation Righteous Fury, the largest mobilization in our history. Every available ship will return to active duty. Hayes studied the charts. Numbers, Admiral? 847 combat vessels plus support and supply, over 1,200 ships total. Fleet Admiral Patricia Woods will command from her flagship USS Sovereign. Counselor David Chen frowned. That leaves other sectors undefended. What if they strike elsewhere? Intel shows their entire force committed to New Texas and Haven Prime, Susan answered. They believe these blows will cripple us. Then they'll move on Earth. The chamber fell into stunned silence. The reality that aliens had plotted humanity's destruction for centuries was nearly beyond comprehension. President Hayes straightened, preparing to speak. Hayes made his decision. Under the War Powers Act, I hereby authorize Operation Righteous Fury. Admiral Clark, you have full authority to do whatever it takes to safeguard our people. Within hours of the council meeting, urgent broadcasts reached every Terran ship and base across known space. Near the Centauri system, Captain Nathan Brooks commanded the assault carrier USS Retribution on patrol when the recall order arrived. All hands, this is the captain. Nathan's voice echoed over the comms. Emergency orders. Return to Earth immediately. This is not a drill. All leave canceled. All personnel report to battle stations. His crew reacted instantly. The Retribution was one of the fleet's newest, armed with state-of-the-art weapons and elite fighter wings. Wing Commander Linda Gray led the pilots. Colonel Tony Martinez commanded the Marine assault teams. "Captain, we're receiving identical signals from ships across the sector," reported comms officer Paul Adams. "Looks like the whole fleet's being recalled." Nathan scanned the orders on his console. "Plot a course for Earth, maximum speed. Signal all fighter squadrons. Prepare for extended combat operations." As the ship accelerated, Nathan called his senior staff to the briefing room. Linda Gray arrived first, followed by Martinez and Chief Engineer Rachel Stone. They'd served together 3 years, their trust absolute. "I've received classified intel," Nathan began, activating the secure briefing display. "We're going to war with an alien race, the Zephyrian Collective." He outlined the discoveries about captured human ships and the colonies under threat. Linda's expression hardened at mention of the prisoner experiments. "How long have they done this to our people?" she demanded. "For over 2 centuries," Nathan replied. "They've studied us, learned our weaknesses, and planned our destruction." He pulled up star charts of Zephyrian space. "Our mission, strike their main fleet before it launches." Martinez leaned forward. "If they've studied our tech for centuries, they'll know every tactic we've got. How do we fight that?" That question was echoed at Fleet HQ on Earth, where Dr. Kevin Scott, head of weapons development, worked non-stop. His team examined alien-modified Terran tech for exploitable flaws. "The good news," Kevin told Admiral Clark via secure link, "is they made mistakes. Their plasma cannons will overheat and explode if fired too fast, and their shields can't withstand multi-frequency assaults." This intel was sent to all fleet captains. Nathan and Rachel Stone studied the specs carefully. If accurate, they might stand a chance. Meanwhile, Captain Alex Turner's recon mission delivered more. His stealth ship, USS Shadow, infiltrated a Zephyrian research station, rescuing several human captives. Among them was Commander Helen Davis, missing and presumed dead for 5 years after her ship's mysterious attack. Her debrief gave Fleet Admiral Woods the final piece she needed. "Their main fleet is at a system called Nexus Prime," Helen reported. "It's heavily fortified, but their sensor grid has a blind spot we can exploit." Her intel revealed Zephyrian overconfidence. Centuries studying human warfare had convinced them they knew it all, never imagining humans would develop new tactics to counter them. Fleet Admiral Patricia Woods stood on the USS Sovereign's bridge, reports streaming in from across human space. The fleet was forming faster than anyone dreamed. Ships pulled from maintenance, reserve crews activated, even civilian craft converted for support. "Admiral, we've confirmed 612 combat vessels assembled," her ops officer reported. "More are arriving hourly." Patricia studied the tactical display of ship movements across the system. Soon, the massive fleet would jump to FTL and plunge into Zephyrian territory. The aliens had prepared for this war for 200 years, but had made a fatal miscalculation. They'd underestimated what humanity would do when family was threatened. The Zephyrians were about to face the full wrath of a furious human military. The storm was ready to break, and the galaxy would never be the same once it did. Fleet Admiral Patricia Woods stood on the bridge of the USS Sovereign as the largest armada in human history prepared to drop from faster-than-light travel. 800 warships moved in flawless formation through the void, their hulls glinting in the dim light of distant stars. This was not a mission of deterrence. This was retribution. "All ships report ready for combat, Admiral," said Communications Officer Mark Taylor. "Captain Brooks confirms his group is in position for the primary target." Patricia's eyes swept over the tactical display, each glowing marker a ship under her command. 6 days they had raced through interstellar darkness to reach Zephyrian space. Now, they hung on the knife's edge of 7 simultaneous strikes, each aimed at research stations and military strongholds where humans had been broken and bled for decades. "Signal all fleet commanders," she ordered, voice cold as steel. Operation Righteous Fury begins in 60 seconds. No Zephyrian ship leaves these systems alive. Aboard the USS Retribution, Captain Nathan Brooks received the order. His group, 40 vessels strong, was armed for one purpose: smash the primary research facility where human captives had been tortured in the name of alien science. All fighters, launch immediately, Brooks commanded. Colonel Martinez, prepare your Marines for ground assault. We're going in hard and fast. From the carrier bays, Wing Commander Linda Gray led the first wave of 36 advanced fighters. Each craft carried weapons built to tear through Zephyrian defenses, the kind of countermeasures born from years of reverse engineering their stolen tech. Eagle Squadron, this is Eagle Leader, Linda's voice crackled across comms. You remember what they did to our people. Show them no mercy. The fighters screamed toward the alien station at attack speed. The defenders were still scrambling, caught flat-footed by human stealth drives and misdirection. Their plasma turrets spat fire in panic, but as Dr. Scott predicted, the copied human tech overheated and failed under sustained fire. Eagle Leader, this is Thunder Leader, came Rick Thompson's voice. Their guns are frying. 6 platforms down already. Linda's smile was grim. All fighters, target shield generators, multiple frequency assault just like in drills. Within minutes, the alien shields buckled, collapsing under coordinated human strikes. The research station's defenses crumbled, opening the way for the Retribution to advance. Colonel Martinez, Brooks said, you're cleared for assault. Find our people. 300 Marines in armored shuttles burned toward the crippled station. Colonel Tony Martinez, a man who had memorized every corridor and choke point of the facility, stood in the lead craft. All Marines, priority. 1 is rescuing the prisoners, Tony barked. Priority 2, evidence of war crimes. These monsters have been dissecting our people for decades. Make them pay. The shuttles breached the hull in coordinated blasts, deploying Marines straight into the fight. The Zephyrians fought with desperate fury, but human rage burned hotter. Within half an hour, the laboratories were secure. Captain Brooks, this is Martinez, came the report. 43 human prisoners found alive. Medical teams needed immediately. Some have been here years. On the Sovereign, Admiral Woods orchestrated the wider war. Captain Johnson reports research station Beta secured, 120 prisoners. Rescued, all enemy ships destroyed, her ops officer said. Captain Davis confirms destruction of Gamma shipyard. No enemy vessels escaped, added communications. Across 6 star systems, the story was the same. Human fleets striking like a thunderclap, leaving nothing standing. The Zephyrians had studied human tactics for centuries, but they had never seen this. Had never witnessed coordinated strikes of this magnitude, executed with entirely unfamiliar strategies. In the Nexus Prime system, the primary Zephyrian fleet scrambled to mount a defense. Their leaders could not fathom how the humans had pinpointed every hidden base at the exact same time. For 2 centuries, they had believed themselves superior to humanity in all aspects. Admiral Zakhtar, Supreme Commander of the Zephyrian Collective Military, watched in disbelief as grim reports flooded in from across their empire. Human forces were systematically dismantling everything they had built over 200 years. How is this possible? Zakhtar demanded of his officers. We know their tactics. We have studied their methods and technology for generations. Sir, they're employing weapons and maneuvers we've never encountered, replied his intelligence chief. Our replicated plasma cannons are detonating under their fighter assaults. Their shield frequency attacks are collapsing our defenses. It dawned on Zakhtar far too late. The humans had outplayed them completely. While the Zephyrians dissected outdated human technology, humanity had been crafting new weaponry designed precisely to counter their stolen systems. Transmit the emergency recall signal, Zakhtar ordered sharply. We must regroup before our entire fleet is lost. But an orderly retreat was already impossible. Captain Alex Turner's stealth vessel, USS Shadow, had been intercepting Zephyrian comms since the assault began. The moment the alien commander attempted to send withdrawal orders, Alex acted. "This is Shadow Leader to all human units," Alex broadcast fleet-wide. "The enemy is initiating a retreat. Do not allow any Zephyrian ship to escape. Hunt them down. Destroy them all." The human fleet struck like a relentless wolf pack, pursuing fleeing vessels across Zephyrian space. Their stolen human tech was worthless against the real thing, wielded by furious crews who knew every weakness. Captain Julia Adams, commanding the destroyer USS Vengeance, named for the ghost ship that ignited this war, intercepted 3 Zephyrian research ships fleeing with human captives. "This is for every life you violated," she declared before her guns tore the last vessel apart. The explosions erased decades of stolen human science and biological warfare research. In under 3 hours, the Zephyrian military was annihilated. Not a single warship escaped to warn their homeworlds. Centuries-old research stations became drifting wreckage. Admiral Woods received the final tallies as her fleet regrouped for the next strike. "All targets neutralized," her operations officer confirmed. "Human losses: 12 fighters destroyed, 37 wounded, no fatalities. Zephyrian casualties: total loss of military forces, over 50,000 personnel dead. All research facilities eliminated. 400 human prisoners recovered." Patricia Woods studied the tactical readouts with cold resolve. Phase 1 of humanity's vengeance was complete. The home systems still awaited judgment, and the fleet stood ready. "Signal the fleet," Patricia ordered. "Prepare for jump to the Zephyrian home system. We finish this now." 800 human warships reformed, their formation a wall of steel and fire. The Zephyrian homeworld of Kethvar, which had never glimpsed a human vessel, now found itself surrounded in every direction. The galaxy was about to witness the full measure of humanity's wrath. Fleet Admiral Patricia Woods stood on the bridge of the USS Sovereign as her communications officer established a link with the Zephyrian planetary government. After 2 centuries of hidden conflict, the aliens were finally going to face the consequences of their actions. "This is Fleet Admiral Woods of the Terran military to the government of Kethvar," Patricia announced over an open channel. "You will surrender immediately and unconditionally, or we will reduce your planet to rubble. You have 10 minutes to respond." The reply came almost instantly from the planet's surface. Supreme Leader Vexar, head of the Zephyrian Collective government, appeared on the main display looking both shaken and confused. Behind him, other officials could be seen moving frantically in the background. "Admiral Woods, there must be some mistake," Vexar said in accented but comprehensible human speech. "The Zephyrian Collective has always sought peaceful relations with your species. We do not understand why you have brought a war fleet to our world." Patricia felt anger rising as she listened to his falsehoods. "Supreme Leader, we have recovered 17 human ships your people seized over the last 2 centuries. We have freed over 400 human prisoners from your research stations. We have proof of biological weapons designed solely to kill human beings. Do not insult our intelligence with claims of ignorance." Vexar's expression shifted as it became clear his civilization's covert war against humanity had been exposed. For 200 years, the Zephyrians believed they could study and dissect humans without facing justice. Now they confronted the full might of a furious human race. "Admiral, perhaps an arrangement can be reached," Vexar said urgently. "The Collective is willing to offer compensation for any misunderstandings." "Misunderstandings?" Patricia repeated, her voice sharp with icy rage. "You kidnapped our people, tortured them like test subjects, and plotted genocide against our colonies. There will be no negotiations. You will surrender now, or every military installation on your world will be destroyed." Aboard the USS Retribution, Captain Nathan Brooks monitored the exchange. Directly above the planet's largest city, his Marine commander, Colonel Tony Martinez, already had landing units prepared to secure priority sites. "Admiral, I have visual confirmation of Zephyrian forces mobilizing on the surface," Nathan reported. "It looks like they're preparing defenses." Patricia checked her tactical readouts and saw several enemy bases activating shields and weapons. The aliens still imagined they could fight back. "All ships, this is Admiral Woods," she broadcast. "Any Zephyrian installation that targets our vessels is to be destroyed immediately. Show them the cost of threatening humanity." The response was swift and devastating. Human warships fired pinpoint energy blasts, vaporizing 3 Zephyrian bases within seconds. Their defenses crumbled against the advanced weaponry of crews who had studied alien systems for months. Supreme Leader Vexar, watching the annihilation from his government tower, understood resistance was futile. The human fleet could destroy his entire civilization, and would. "Admiral Woods, the Zephyrian Collective formally surrenders," Vexar declared. "We beg mercy for our civilians." Patricia weighed his words. Humanity had the means to wipe out Kethvar entirely, but that would make them no better than those who experimented on innocents. Justice, not blind vengeance, was required. "Supreme Leader, these are our terms," she stated. "All Zephyrian military forces will disarm at once. All research on human biology and technology will be surrendered. Every individual involved in capturing or experimenting on humans will face trial. Any attempt to conceal evidence or shield war criminals will mean the destruction of your government." The surrender was concluded within hours. Human Marines landed planet-wide, seizing control of every government and military facility without resistance. 2 centuries of crimes against humanity were finally exposed. Captain Alex Turner's intelligence teams worked non-stop, cataloging the immense volume of data recovered. The Zephyrian program was larger than anyone had imagined. Not just an attack on human colonies, but the planned eradication of the species from the galaxy. "Admiral, you need to see this," Alex reported via secure channel. "We've uncovered their master strategy. They intended to use biological weapons to kill every human, then settle our worlds with their own." The revelation chilled human leadership. Without Commander Morrison's discovery of the ghost ship UHS Vengeance, the Zephyrian plan might have succeeded. 50 million humans in the outer colonies would have died, followed by the collapse of all human civilization. 6 months later, the trials of Zephyrian war criminals began on a neutral world under the authority of the Galactic Justice Council. Over 3,000 aliens stood charged with crimes against sentient life, including Supreme Leader Vexar and Admiral Zaktar. Commander Jake Morrison, now an admiral, he testified about finding the Vengeance and the proof of human experimentation aboard the ghost ship. His words brought convictions against dozens of alien scientists and military figures involved in the research program. The salvaged warship UHS Vengeance was fully restored and turned into a memorial museum. Captain Greg Foster, brother of Dr. Elizabeth Foster, killed during the intelligence phase of the war, was appointed its new commander. This ship will stand as a promise that humanity will never again allow our people to fall victim to alien aggression, Greg declared at the dedication ceremony. The original Vengeance crew perished in captivity, but their sacrifice saved humanity itself. The Zerian Collective was dismantled as a political power, with its territory placed under human military control. Surviving aliens were relocated to designated worlds where they could be monitored to prevent future danger. Dr. Kevin Scott's weapons division was expanded and granted unlimited funding to create new defensive systems. The war had proven that humanity must be ready for threats hidden for centuries. Ambassador Claire Mitchell became director of the Human-Alien Relations Council, tasked with averting conflict through early identification of hostile activity. Her agency established monitoring posts across the galaxy to detect anti-human schemes. The freed human prisoners received extensive medical care and psychological rehabilitation after years of captivity. Many held valuable knowledge of alien biology and technology useful for defense. Commander Helen Davis, thought dead for 5 years, was promoted to captain and given command of a new exploration vessel class meant to find missing human ships. Her Zephyrian captivity made her uniquely able to recognize alien interference. Admiral Jake Morrison stood aboard his new flagship, USS Guardian, as it patrolled ex-Zephyrian space. His duty was to eliminate any remaining anti-human research and ensure scattered aliens posed no danger. The brief yet decisive war had taught the galaxy a lesson. Humanity could be generous to those who respected them, but showed no mercy to those endangering their kind. Civilizations that had secretly observed the conflict understood humans would do whatever it took to protect their own and had both the will and power to destroy any species that became their enemy. The ghost ship that sparked the war had become a monument to human resilience and justice. The first Vengeance crew had not died in vain. Their loss saved countless lives. The galaxy was safer for humanity, and all new Earth species would never again be unready for war.